this is Dora Tarver from CreateAndManageSchedules.com, and welcome to your video coaching session. In this section, we're going to focus on resource management, specifically on assigning resources. Let's get started. In this lesson, we're focusing on resource management, assigning resources, and using a resource pool. Now, there are several ways to assign resources in Microsoft Project. A few popular techniques include just typing the resource name directly into your project schedule, connecting a resource pool to your project schedule, using split screen to include the resource view, and there are other techniques as well. First, I recommend that you turn on the resource management toolbar. So let's take a look at an example of that. So in this view, I already have the resource management toolbar turned on. How you turn it on is in your toolbar area, you right-click and you select from the pop-up menu resource management. So if I select this, it'll turn it off. The toolbar is gone. If I come back here again, select this, the toolbar appears again. Okay, so turn on your resource management toolbar. We're going to walk through this so you'll know how to use it. Next, I recommend that you build and connect your resource pool to your project schedule. Let's take a look at that in Microsoft Project. So here we are in Project, and a resource pool is essentially another Microsoft Project schedule, except it has no task information. It only has resource information. So if you go to the resource sheet view, you can type in your resource names. Okay, now I actually already have a resource pool that I've already created. Let me open that up here so you can see it. Okay, so here I have just a few resources, and you can, I also added their rate, and I kind of created groups for them if they're a developer or manager or analyst. There's other information you can add in here. For example, if you insert a text column and let's say you call it skills, if you wanted to track what this person knows, let's say this person is a .NET developer, and let's say this person is a SharePoint developer, and let's just say this person's a project manager. You know, you could put in whatever the skills are for your resources if you choose to do that. So from the resource sheet view, you can hide or insert columns as you need them. Okay. Now, once you've inserted your resources, notice that the Gantt view has no tasks in it. So basically, it's the resource sheet view. And you simply save this. I've already saved it, but you would save it and name it your resource pool. You know, you'd have a name for it and call it your resource pool. And once this file is created, then back into your project schedule, you would attach your resource pool. Now, how you attach the resource pool is from the Tools menu option, you go into Resource Sharing, and you select Share Resources. Now, you need to have the resource pool open in order to see it from this drop-down list box. I already have it open, and notice in this dialog box, which the Share Resources opens, it says Resources for, and it has your project schedule name, and you want to say that you're going to use the resources from the resource pool file, and on conflict with calendar or resource information, you basically want the pool, the resource pool, to take precedence. You don't want to have resources in your schedule and take resources from the resource pool. It's better to have just resources coming from one location and make that location take precedence. Sometimes when you're developing your schedule, you might accidentally type in a resource name, but you want your pool to take precedence. Okay, and then click on OK. And that will attach your resource pool to your project schedule. When you go into the resource names column, and select a row where you need to assign resources, when you click on that row, you'll find the names of the resources that are in your resource pool. Now, this resource pool is now attached to this project, and let's just say if we go back to the resource pool, I have a bunch of names in here. Basil. Okay, let's go back to our project schedule, and I'm going to select Basil. This is just an example. I want to show you something here. So you have resources you're assigning, from the resource pool. And when you go back to the resource pool, now from the resource sheet, you can change your view to resource usage. And this view, if I collapse these rows here, whoops, this shows me all of my resources. And I just selected Basil and I assigned him to some tasks. Now, in my resource usage view, I inserted, let me just hide this column, I inserted the project column so that I could see which project the resources were working on. So if you go to project and insert that column, you'll be able to see which projects the resources are working on from your resource usage view. And remember, we had assigned some tasks to Basil in our example project schedule. Well, here they are. This is showing that he's been assigned to this project schedule, to this project. Okay, so now let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation. Now let's take a closer look at the Resource Management Toolbar. The Resource Management Toolbar allows you to quickly manage your resources. You can apply them to specific tasks in your project schedule. And the resource pool helps you to quickly manage resources across multiple projects. Let's go back into project and look at how we use the Resource Management Toolbar to assign tasks. So let me first clear the resources out of this column by going to the view, the edit, clear all. So we're going to clear those resources out of here. And using the Resource Management Toolbar, if I click on the Assign Resources button here, a dialog box will pop open, which will show me all the resources that I have available. And first you need to actually be on the specific task that you want to assign resources to. So this is a milestone. I'm not assigning resources to that, but this is a task. This is our placeholder task, but let's say we're assigning resources to this. So we select that row, then click on Assign Resources, and you can scroll through your resource list and select the name, click on Assign. You can assign what percentage of time that person is allocated to this project. If it's not 100% of the time, you'd type in whatever the units are. So I'm typing in their allocation and assigning them, so they're assigned, and then I click on Close. And now in the resource column, I'll see these resource names. I can expand the height of the row so the resource names wrap around, or I can make the column a little bit wider so I can see more. But these are the resources that I'm assigning. So using the resource toolbar, you might find it easier to be able to quickly select a name, assign a resource, give them an allocation if you know what they are available for. Now this is just telling me I moved a resource, a task, and I'm going to click on OK. That's fine. Back to assigning resources. Let's make this person 40% and then click on Close. So you keep assigning resources. I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly. And I'm actually just going to copy Okay, so I have some resources assigned, And I can see already when I go back to my resource sheet that I have some resources that are over allocated. And we're going to get into that in more detail. Going back to the project schedule though, this is our schedule, and we've been using the resource management toolbar to assign resources. I want to point out that I had showed you how you can attach a resource pool to your project schedule by using the Tools menu option, Resource Sharing, Share Resources. The Resource Management Toolbar also has a shortcut to that dialog box, which is this button right here where you click on Share Resources and it brings you immediately to that dialog box, and you select your resource pool and make sure that it takes precedence. Another interesting feature of the resource toolbar is the using resources filter. You can actually just look at resources, specific resources. So if you click on this filter image, the using resources dialog box pops up, and you can select a name of the resource that you want to show tasks that are using that resource. So if I select this person and click on OK, I can now see that only the tasks that are using that person. And to turn this filter off, you can use the filter toolbar over here and select all tasks, and it will go back to the regular schedule view. So again, you can select specific resources to see, and this is the formatting toolbar that allows you to filter, so make sure yours is turned on. Now we have this one project schedule that we've assigned resources from the resource pool. Let me go to another project schedule that I have and go to the Gantt chart view. I'm going to remove the split that I have. Okay, so this is another project schedule and assign resources to it. I believe I've already assigned a resource pool. Yes, this is using the resource pool. Okay, so this project name is called Resource Leveling Schedule, and if I go back to the resource pool, I can see who's assigned to the resource leveling schedule and who's assigned to the actual versus planned schedule. So again, in your resource pool, you can always see which resources are working on which project if you insert the project column into your resource usage view. Okay. Let's go back to our presentation. So again, the resource management toolbar is key here, and using a resource pool will help you manage your resources across multiple projects. It's really easy to create. I recommend placing your resource pool file on a shared network drive. So if you have multiple project managers trying to use the resource pool, they all have access to it. I'd recommend that you create a common location where everyone saves their project schedules. But if you have the resource pool in a common location, it's easy for other project managers to link their project schedules to the resource pool. Now let's take a look at the homework. What I want you to do is create a resource pool and then add the resource management toolbar into your project schedule if you don't have it there, and use each of the following: the Assign Resource button, the Using Resource filter, and the Share Resources button. Looking at the project schedule, you'll see those over here: Assign Resources, Share Resources, and Use Resources. Okay? In our next lesson, we'll go through the other buttons. Then I want you to attach the resource pool to at least 2 project schedules and assign resources to them. So, these are techniques for assigning resources. In our next lesson, we'll focus on how to level the resources. Now, take a look at the homework below, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I look forward to seeing you.